An elder woman walked into a bank. Dressed in simple clothes, she just wanted to withdraw her own money, but what happened next was completely unexpected. The bank employees looked at her with disdain, refused to serve her, and even told her to leave, treating her like a beggar. What they didn't know was that this woman wasn't just any customer. She was the bank's primary owner. What happened next left everyone in shock. At regret, stay until the end because this story holds a powerful lesson. But before we continue, comment below, where are you watching from? The old woman stepped into the bank, clutching her worn-out bank book. She approached the teller with hopeful eyes, only to be met with a cold stare. Ma'am, this isn't a place where people like you, the teller scoffed, crossing her arms. The woman smile faded. I just want to withdraw my money, she said softly. The teller let out a mocking laugh. Your money in this bank, please. Don't waste our time. Other customers began to take notice and looked on with pity, but many turned away in disgust as if she were nothing more than a nuisance. A security guard stepped forward, his expression stern. Ma'am, if you don't have any business here, I'll have to ask you to leave. The woman sighed and looked down at her bank book. I just need to speak with the manager, she pleaded. The teller smirked. Our manager doesn't have time for someone like you. Just then a senior employee walking by stopped in his tracks. His eyes widened as he took a closer look at the old woman. His face turned pale. Without hesitation, he spun around and rushed into the manager's office, barely able to catch his breath. Sir, we have a problem, he stammered. The owner of the bank is here. The manager, who was busy reviewing documents, frowned in irritation. What are you talking about? Who's here? The employees swallowed hard. The old woman outside, she's the bank's largest shareholder. The manager's face drained of color. His hands trembled as he nearly dropped his papers. What? Where is she? Without wasting a second, he bowled out of his office. The moment he spotted the elderly woman standing at the teller, his legs almost gave out. Then, to everyone's shock, he ran toward her, and right in front of the entire bank fell to his knees. The entire room went silent. Employees and customers alike watched in stunned disbelief. With a trembling voice, the manager stammered, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize who you were. The teller, who had mocked the woman, turned as white as a sheet. Her hands shook as she tried to speak, but no words came out. The old woman simply smiled, her eyes filled with wisdom. Now I see who deserves to work here and who doesn't, she said calmly but firmly. The manager, still kneeling, turned sharply toward the teller. You're fired. Music. Immediately the teller gasped, her face filled with horror. Sir, please, I didn't. No, but it was too late. The security guard, who had tried to remove the old woman, stood frozen, his head hung in shame. The manager turned to him. And you were faced serious consequences as well. Around him, the same customers who had once looked at the woman with contempt now sat in awkward silence, their faces burned with shame. They had judged her by her appearance, and now they were witnessing the truth. The old woman, however, said nothing more. She simply turned and walked past a stunned crowd as she reached the VIP section, an area reserved only for the bank's most powerful figures. The doors were open for her with deep respect. Without a word, she stepped inside, leaving behind a room full of regretful faces. This story teaches us a powerful lesson. Never judge a person by their appearance. Respect everyone regardless of their status, because you never know who you're really standing in front of. And most importantly, treat people with kindness, not because of who they are, but because it's simply the right thing to do. So what's the biggest lesson you learned from this story? Share your thoughts in the comments below.